You know that feeling? You're sitting on a plane, waiting to take off, looking out the window at the tarmac. You see this incredible scene, a flurry of vehicles, ground crew, and other planes all moving in what looks like a crazy, complicated dance. It really does seem like organized chaos, right?
So, have you ever actually stopped and wondered what's really going on down there? I mean, how does a massive jet find its way from the gate all the way to the runway without a single traffic light? Who's conducting this whole orchestra?
Well, here's the secret. It's not chaos. Not at all. It's actually an incredibly precise system, all governed by a kind of universal blueprint, a master plan that dictates every single movement on the ground, all to make sure everything is as safe and efficient as humanly possible.
And the blueprint for any airport in the world? It starts right here, with the Aerodrome Reference Code. Now, it looks pretty simple, doesn't it? Just a number and a letter, but it is so powerful. This little code determines what kinds of planes can even operate at that airport based on their size and how much runway they need. It's the very first piece of the puzzle, and it's the reason why, you can't just fly a giant A380 into a tiny local airstrip.
So, let's decode this blueprint together. In this explainer, we're going to follow a plane's entire journey on the ground, exploring the high-stakes world of the runway, that intricate network of taxiways, and how airports keep gridlock from happening. First up, the runway itself. The runway. This really is the heart of the airport. It's where that slow, careful dance on the tarmac just explodes into incredible speed and power. And as you can imagine, it is engineered with just breathtaking precision.
The official definition seems pretty straightforward. And by the way, the Korean term for it is hweldrul. But don't let that simple definition fool you. The design is incredibly complex. Just figuring out the length of this strip of pavement is one of the most critical decisions an airport designer has to make. And it all boils down to the biggest, heaviest planes that airport expects to handle.
Okay, now this is really interesting. Planners have to consider two different things. There's the takeoff run. That's literally just the length of pavement the plane's wheels are on. But they also have to account for the takeoff distance. That's the total space the plane needs, not only to get airborne, but to climb high enough to clear any obstacles. It's a crucial safety calculation to make sure every plane has more than enough room to get up and away safely.
And speaking of safety, it is built into every single aspect. What if something goes wrong? A pilot has to slam on the brakes during takeoff, or a landing goes a little long? That is what the Runway End Safety Area, or RESA, is for. It's a mandatory buffer zone, a patch of ground at each end of the runway, designed to minimize the damage in a worst-case scenario. You hope it's never used, but it is absolutely essential.
All right, once the plane is landed, the high-speed part is over. Now it enters the airport's ground game, this whole low-speed network of taxiways and aprons. Honestly, it acts just like a city's road system, guiding the plane safely to its destination.
Now this journey from the runway to the gate is a very carefully planned sequence. A plane will often peel off onto what's called a rapid exit taxiway, which is angled just right so it can clear the runway faster for the next flight. From there, it's basically following the road signs through the taxiway system until it gets to the apron and pulls up to its gate.
And welcome to the busiest part of the airport, the apron, or Gyeongju in Korean. The best way to think of this is like a pit stop in a race. This is where it all happens. Passengers get on and off, bags are loaded, fuel is pumped, catering is delivered. It's the central hub for turning that plane around and getting it ready for its next flight. And just like spots in a parking garage, the spaces here, they're called aircraft stands, are planned with meticulous detail. This chart shows the mandatory safety bubble that has to exist between planes. A small Code A aircraft, like a little Cessna, needs about 3 meters of clearance, but a giant Code F Super Jumbo like the A380, it needs at least 7.5 meters. That buffer is completely non-negotiable. Okay, so if everything is so carefully planned, why do we all have that experience of sitting on the tarmac waiting in a long line of planes? Well, even the best plans have to deal with the realities of air traffic, and believe it or not, the blueprint has a clever solution for that too. Here's the puzzle that air traffic controllers face every single day. Planes push back from the gate when they're ready. But that might not be the most efficient order for takeoff. You could have a smaller, faster plane stuck right behind a slower, heavier one, and just like that, you've got a bottleneck right at the runway. The solution is the holding bay, or daegigyeok. It's essentially an airport's staging area, a little pull-off spot near the runway. This allows a plane to step out of line, let another one pass, and it gives air traffic controllers the amazing ability to shuffle the departure sequence like a deck of cards for maximum efficiency. And this one simple idea has a huge impact. It gives controllers the flexibility to maximize the flow of takeoffs. It prevents one small delay from causing a chain reaction. It even frees up gate space faster. But the big one? It actually increases the entire airport's capacity. It's what turns a rigid, frustrating line into a dynamic, manageable flow.
So when you put it all together, from that classification code to the design of its parking spots, every single thing we've talked about is part of one single master plan. And that whole blueprint is driven by one overarching principle.
And that principle is safety through standardization. This quote from the official manual says it all. The goal is to ensure uniformity. It means that whether you land in Seoul, London, or Dubai, the basic rules of the ground game are the same. This universal language is what allows millions of flights a year to operate with incredible safety.
So the next time you're looking out that window, you'll know it's not chaos, but a carefully crafted system. But it does leave us with a final thought, doesn't it? As aircraft get larger, faster, and even more automated, how will this fundamental blueprint for our airports need to adapt and evolve for the future?